kind of give some clarity, because there's still like a lot of confusion of like what happened, who's who am I, what's going on, kind of thing. So let's just do like we'll just do like a guided meditation, and you'll just kind of feel like your mind slow down. I'll try and just guide you and make things hopefully crystal clear for you.
All right.
So so let's just close our eyes and then just totally relax. Just give yourself full permission to just totally relax and be fully present here now. Just allow yourself to sink into the stillness that is here. And just notice that both the body and the mind are becoming more still and silent. And notice how the movement of the mind is very little or non-existent. Notice how there's no past, there's no future. Notice how there's no story. There's no expectations. There's no self-image. There's no identity. There's no role. Just simply notice that all of that has been let go. Notice how there's no effort being made. There's just simply this. And after all those things have been let go of, what is it that still remains that cannot be let go of? What is it that's still here, present? What is it that is essential? There's just this awareness, this knowingness, this presence, this consciousness. But these are all just words, words that are pointers, pointing to that which is nameless. Notice how there's just this happiness that is present. There's love that is present. There's peace that is present. There's freedom that is present. Notice how there's this fulfillment, this completeness, this wholeness, this rest, this relaxation, this well being. Notice how this moment is perfect. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be taken away. It's simply perfect as is. And notice how all of these qualities are not objective. Notice how there's nothing else that is here, which means that these qualities are inherent to what you are. It's a taste of your true nature. It's your fragrance. Notice how you can simply rest in yourself as yourself. Notice how there's no person that is here experiencing this. There's no subject that is experiencing an object. All that you are aware of is yourself. Notice how you're just simply being, not trying to be this, not trying to be that, just being. And it's effortless to be. It's your true nature, which is why it feels so natural to just be. There's simply an awareness of being And this awareness is never absent. Notice how all experiences come and go. Everything is an experience except for this. Experiences always change, but notice what you are is changeless. Notice how this awareness is always the same. Notice how this awareness is ever present. It is what you refer to yourself as I. And this I is without beginning or ending. Notice how you cannot find a start or an end. Notice how you cannot find a border or boundary. Notice how there's no sense of time or space. There's just this awareness of being, this knowingness. There's a knowingness without mind. There's a seeing without eyes. And realize that you have always been here. Notice how there's nowhere to go. Notice how every experience of life has been experienced in you, awareness. The experience of hearing is happening in you, awareness. The sound of my voice is arising out of you. It is being experienced in you, and it dissolves back into you. Notice how something as subtle as a thought is even known, that there's an awareness of any thought. There's simply no thought. Then there's a thought that labels. That's a voice. That's Mitch's voice. But see clearly that that label, that discrimination, is nothing but a thought. And see that without thought, there's simply no separation. There's simply you, the stillness, the silence, and there's a movement and a sound that arises out of you, is experienced in you, and dissolves back into you. See that that which you are experiencing is a thing, and what you are is no thing. See that this thing, my voice, is an experience that's arising out of you, no thing, which means that it's made of you. You are that stillness, that silence, that everything comes from, and that which everything returns back into. The singularity point, the source, that what you are is the unmanifest, and everything arising out of you is the manifest. That you are the source of creation, and see that the creator and the creation are not separate, that all is one and one is all. What you really are is outside of space and time. See that space and time are within you. You create it. See that what you are aware of right now, you did not imagine and you did not create. See that it has always been here. You're simply just realizing it, realizing your eternal nature, realizing your immortal self, realizing that without boundaries, borders, or limits, you are infinity. realizing that you are the one reality that everything is made of. That everything that you experience is you. There is no separation. And notice how, as you simply just rest as yourself, there's no mind, there's no thought, there's no body. That this is not a belief, it's a direct knowing. That the knower and the known are the same, they are one, and that there is only knowing, that the seer and the seen are one, there's only seeing. That which is speaking is you, that which is listening is you. This is not a dialogue, it's a monologue. It's consciousness knowing itself. See clearly that you are nothing and everything simultaneously. And this is the wholeness, the completeness, the fullness. See that any experience happens within you, that you are always beyond experience. No experience can touch you. You are always pure, untouched, unblemished, untainted. See that you give existence to everything. Existence means to stand out. X means out. Stance, to stand. That all experiences stand out from you. See that you are both empty and full simultaneously. See that what you are is both formless and form. That all forms are made of the formless. The formless is in all forms, and all forms are in the formless. See that something as subtle as a simple thought form is made of you. You, that which is aware of the thought form, Mitch's voice, is made of your formless nature. And that thought form is experienced in your formless nature. The two cannot be separated. There is only one, and you are that one without a second. Just realize this causeless happiness, this unconditional love, this perfect peace, and this inherent freedom that you are. Realize that what you really are can never suffer. It knows no suffering. And go ahead and slowly open up your eyes. How do you feel, Brody?
Good.
Shocked?
Yeah,
What are you experiencing right now?
I don't know. I can't say it.
Is it because your mind's gone?
I guess so.
Is there any doubt about what I just showed you?
I couldn't say if there was doubt. I can't check then.
What is here now?
Everything.
And what is it made of?
No thing.
All right, James, how do you feel?
Peaceful.
Okay. Were you able to see what I showed you?
Yes.
It's clear as day. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Okay, and Luke, you're coming in late. I think you missed the whole thing.
I joined and I thought that my computer was frozen. I was like, what?
How do you feel since joining?
Me?
Yeah.
Honestly, like better. I don't know, like less brain activity.
Just from joining, just from being on in less than 2 minutes here?
Yeah, I joined and then I was like, is this thing working? And then I realized that you guys were just like chilling, so I did the same thing, and then it was nice.
Yeah.
It is.
And what's aware of that activity being lessened? What's aware of the mind slowing down and becoming more tranquil?
Me, awareness,
Yeah.
the stillness of it,
Yeah.
the nothing, the yeah, awareness.
So instead of attending the thoughts, instead of attending any thoughts that are lingering, just simply attend that stillness. Instead of tuning into the thoughts, tune into the stillness and silence. And then simply just notice that this is available all the time because it's you. I'm just helping you tune into yourself. Are you still noticing a lot of thoughts, Luke?
Some.
Some? Are you?
Way fewer than before.
Yep. And now simply notice that you can just watch them. That any thoughts that do arise, notice how you know those thoughts right away. You see them. You're aware of them. And notice how you don't have to do anything. That you just simply can witness them, not be involved with them. Just simply allow them to be. And just zoom out now from the thought and realize that you are that infinite space that the thought is arising out of and being experienced in. That space, which is not really a space, but we're calling it a space, is silent and still. And by becoming aware of how infinite that space is, the thought literally has no pull. The thought is seen to be so small in you. The thought literally is seen to be a speck of dust in you. And see that you are always beyond the thought and never touched by the thought. See that the thought is arising out of you. There's no need to be at war with the thought. You can just allow it to be. Just allow it to be in you, the infinite open space of awareness that is effortlessly witnessing. See that any other thought that says, this thought should not be here, is nothing more than another thought. See that the thought, I am this, I am that, is nothing more than a thought. That what you really are is this open space of awareness that is witnessing everything that is seen to be an experience. Everything is an experience. Thoughts, feelings, sense perceptions are all experiences. And you always remain ever present as this witness that is simply witnessing. any experience that arises out of you. Which means that it's made of you. And seeing this directly allows there to be more harmony. Can you see how the thoughts don't have the same pull to them anymore?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a power over you. Nothing has a power over you. Because you are the source that everything is arising out of. You are the source of power. Any thoughts that seem to have power over you is because you're giving your power to it. You are empowering that thought. By believing in it. But see that what you are is beyond the mind, beyond all beliefs. And by simply remaining as yourself, there's never a thought that feels overwhelming or feels like it can overpower you. And go ahead and open up your eyes. How do you feel now, Luke?
Different.
You feel like something shifted in you?
Yeah, I feel like physically also, like when I had my eyes closed, I felt like huge, like
Yeah.
expansive, like
Yeah.
I wasn't in a body. I
No.
still feel like it. I still feel
Like the body's in you.
yeah,
Hmm.
it feels weird actually. Actually, it feels like nostalgic or something. Like it
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah. Familiar
yeah, familiar and like
in a very old way.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Uh, yeah. You feel like you're like energetically, you're huge.
Yeah,
Are you bigger than the room?
yeah,
Yeah. Freeing, isn't it?
yeah. I thought when I opened my eyes it wouldn't be like that, but it still is. Like
Yeah. Because it's the contraction that by just simply
yeah,
remaining open, relaxed, and just tuning into that silence and stillness, which is what you are. There's a feeling of release. Do you feel that kind of release?
hmm yeah,
And do you feel how you're more relaxed now?
yeah, yeah. Like I couldn't really get I don't know, like, I couldn't get more relaxed. I couldn't go to a spa or something.
Uh yeah, but I know what you mean. Like you
I
feel
still
really relaxed.
feel I still feel like subtle pain in my back and stuff, but it's not a problem. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
feel
not
really relaxed.
yeah. It's not like pain just like, oh, it just is gonna go away. It's just energetically, you don't feel like you're just tight and contracted and like just moving like this. You feel
Yeah,
you feel how there's no
yeah.
pull of energy from like side to side or this feeling that you got to get somewhere.
Mhm. Yeah. This is probably the most still I've sat in, like, ever.
And you feel how the mind is still and the body's still.
Mhm.
It feels like you're more just wanting to stay, like not wanting, but you're just staying put.
Mhm.
As if I just grabbed you and said, sit here. And
Mhm.
now it's kind of like you don't want to go anywhere and it feels like almost like you can't.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then you're present.
Yeah.
You feel more light, like lighter as in weight.
It's weird. It's almost like a paradox. Like, my arms feel heavy, but, like
You bodily you feel like heavy, like weighed down to like being here now,
yeah,
and
like
this
yeah, yeah.
stillness feels heavy, but like almost like emotionally and energetically it feels light.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Kind of like if you have like 2 or 3 beers, you kind of feel like this heaviness to just relax and kind of melt into or smoking a joint or something, you feel like you kind of melt in the couch, this heaviness, this relaxation.
Mhm.
But really you're feeling like that, but you're very light.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel how the
Yeah.
mind is very clear.
Mhm.
And you feel how something has moved from the background into the foreground now. It's like it came forth.
Yeah, that's an interesting I never yeah, I mean, that checks out.
Do you feel how the experience of your room and just your computer and whatever else is in your area feels like it's more in your face?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like it looks kind of new.
Yep.
Like I'm noticing details that I would have never noticed before.
Yeah.
I feel like I've never really looked at that painting,
Right.
and
You're
now
like
I'm like,
you're
whoa, look at that.
you're looking at it with like fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Now, do you see how you're not labeling everything? There's more of an
Yeah.
observing. You're just watching. You're not like, that's this, that's that. Oh, I saw that before, so I'm not going to really look at it. You see how there's no labeling and judgment going on right now. You're just watching it. It feels very like a newborn baby looking at things, very curious and very at awe, wonder.
Yeah.
Just simply like kind of taking it in, but not even
Mhm.
really processing. It's just like watching.
Yeah. Like just looking at the table, and it's like it's a table, seen it
Yeah,
before, but I'm like looking at like the grain of the wood,
right,
like, oh, that looks interesting.
right, exactly. It's very like it's an unfiltered looking.
Yeah.
The mind is always kind of quick to label things. That's a table. I know what that is. I've looked at it many times, so it doesn't want to look at it anymore. It's very like it's
Mhm.
dull.
Yeah. Show me something new. I've seen that, but now
Yeah.
I'm like, this
But
is cool.
do you see how you're looking at things that you've already seen before, but they look sharp and they look more vivid now, more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like before you're always accessing like a memory on it, but then
Yeah.
it's like you just refreshed it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't care about what you thought it was. There was no thought.
That's
So,
right. Because it's just
Yeah.
creating conclusions.
mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like a conclusion means to end.
Mm. Right.
Whereas like right now, look how you're like going on a journey just in your own room, just sitting there. Look at how much of a discovery it is. Like you're like, there's so much that you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys have any other questions, or we can wrap it up, or whatever you guys want to do?
I think maybe I think maybe I had a question earlier, and now it's like, yeah, it's answered.
Cool. Brody, how you feeling now after like, I don't know, 20 minutes after that first meditation?
So great. I noticed that whenever I look at words, it's just like it's really like lines, and there'll be like a thought that'll read it. But when I look at it, it's not actually what the thought says. It's like it's just the T that looks like that,
Hmm.
the R that looks like that, but without like
Sure.
reading it.
Yeah. They're just like images, symbols, but it's the mind that gives them meaning.
I feel like my mind went to sleep.
When? Right now?
I don't know when, but
Or like during, like whatever, during this call?
yeah, during this call.
Yeah. It feels like you kind of just put your mind aside.
Man, it's
That like you just kind of like took off the filter and just put it to the side. And now you're
just
looking at
looking.
things raw.
Yeah, it's like there's no label to anything. It's just seeing it.
That's right.
It's taken me a while to get to this point, like even just in terms of like wanting to like practice.
Yeah.
but like every time it's like a little bit more,
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more, and it's cool. Like that was fast, like I just
Yeah.
joined and you guys were all like,
Yeah.
staring into space, and I was like, what's going on here? But then I was like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm down. And
Yeah.
then I don't know.
There's an energy it creates for sure. That's,
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
come back into it, right? So it's very nice.
Well, that's like how powerful it is. Like it's like there's just a transmission that's happening that's just it makes it effortless to meditate, to basically like, and that's weird saying it like that. Like it implies that you're doing something. It just like you just get absorbed into it. It just absorbs you.
Yeah.
You just melt. You dissolve. And you'll see like it's like come back again. It's like you're just more open to it because that judgment's not there as much. That mind that just judges, oh, this is woo-woo stuff. Oh, this can't happen to me. Oh, this is weird or bad or whatever it is. That's all the mind. That's just the chatter. That's just the filter. That's just all the conclusions and the judgments. And that's like what's in the way. That's like blocking it. So in a way, it's like it's removing what's in the way, which is what's the obstacle preventing you from realizing your true nature.
It's you.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like
piece
who
of
you
you.
think you are. It's who you think you are. It's everything that you know.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like if you're open to just putting it aside for a little bit, you're like, all right, well, let me just put it aside. Then that's the experience, what you're experiencing. Do you feel how there's more aliveness, Luke? Like you feel this is a kind of like an aliveness, like a vibrancy.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm like ready to go, but like there's nowhere to go, so I'm just gonna chill.
That's right. Yeah. So you're alert, but you're resting.
Yeah. Like if someone threw like a football at my head, I'd be like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. And when that's the experience, when you've got that like aliveness, that vibrancy, that readiness, that alertness, it's like that's where it's like there's no need for like caffeine and all these other things that just make the mind kind of go. There's no need for that.
Now I need to figure out how to tap into this in the morning because I still don't want to get out of bed.
Well, you'll start seeing that this like it just like I said is it's like you kind of come back, you get like another like taste of it, you come back again, you get more, but it's blossoming in you. It's because what you're tuning into is actually within you. It's like I'm not giving you anything externally.
Yeah.
It's not artificial. I'm not giving you like a Red Bull to feel this way. You didn't take a drug to feel this way. It's natural. You're literally getting a natural high. That's what you said when you first dropped in on the call. You're like, I feel pretty good. And it's like, okay, cool. And I asked you about how active the mind was. I said, okay, well, let's bring it down a little bit more. I got you tune in a little bit more. And you're like, oh yeah, it's not even really a problem anymore. Which then you start feeling even more relaxed. But like you didn't like smoke a joint or anything, but you've got the same kind of feel. You're like, oh well, I'm really relaxed.
It was like,
I'm really mellowed out. You're like, I'm mellowed out, but like I'm super alert. I'm not paranoid. It's like you're getting all the benefits, you could say, of like weed, but without any of the side effects or anything like that. Because that's like it's essentially that's kind of what happens when people are taking drugs. It kind of just puts like the mind kind of to the side a little bit. But it's not actually the drug that's making you feel like that. It's just removing what's blocking you from you, like from you experiencing like your true nature.
Yeah.
That's where it's like you literally like you could be feeling like this all the time. And you'll just start noticing that it's just like it's there more and more. It's like less of it goes away, you could say. Because it's like as the mind kind of comes back, sneaks in, then you're like, man, what the heck? I felt like amazing on the satsang call, but like but then you'll notice like more activity and stuff, right? Coming back. You're like, I gotta do another one or something like that.
Gotta call Mitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
It feels like it like bubbles. It bubbles, and then when you have those points where you almost forget, and then now that I feel like we've done some I guess I'll say repetitions, where it's like you said, it's just knowing how to tap into it more often. You feel so silly to have even forgot. It's funny, but you can't.
Yeah.
Now there's no judgment, but it's just like to even get into those spots, you actually snap out faster, and
Yeah.
it's almost like fuller. It's always like, oh my goodness.
It's because it's like you're it's
thank
like
God moment, but thanking yourself for
yeah.
having
It's
that
like,
understanding.
it's like you're awakening, but then it's like you close your eyes back. You close your eyes back, kind of thing. Hey, Brody, that was like that was kind of like you said some comment like that on Friday, where you said like I'm never gonna forget this, and then it's like 20 minutes after or something like that. It's like you forgot it.
Yeah, I went to the bathroom and
And then it was like amnesia. It's like a spell. You totally forgot.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'll be like, sit down, like got nothing to do. I'm like, okay, I'll just like sit and meditate. And then it's like a jump cut, and I'm like, like playing a game or something or looking at my phone, and then I'm just like, wait a second, what am I doing?
Yeah. But this is where it's like it's starting that fire within you, that like getting more and more of a taste is the motivation.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's like at one point it's like something just clicks that you're like you basically stop going outward for what you already are. It's just like, well, what do you want? Like, you want to smoke drugs and drink beer all day, whatever, or you're just naturally like that, right? Or like you want to try and buy new materials to chase happiness, or are you already happy? So there's this natural kind of dispassion that kind of starts happening, where you're not really interested in all the stuff that you thought you were interested in, because everything is seen to be an external source for that which you are. Right. So then it's seen very clearly that everything else is like, it's dependent on something, and there's a duration, and it's limited. And too much of it is always going to make you feel more suffering or more pain.
Yeah.
It's like, I can give you, like, you're going to get happy. You're like, hey, you know what I really love is ice cream, chocolate ice cream. I love it. You're like, okay, well, we'll see how much you love it. How much do you love it after 4 ice cream cones? You start getting sick. You got pain in your stomach. You're on the toilet for the rest of the day. I don't know. Like it's just like I said, but can you get sick of yourself, your true self? No, you just like, it becomes that point where you're just tasting yourself effortlessly all the time. So then you're not like going crazy over, I need ice cream. If the ice cream's there, good, you enjoy it. If it's not there, well, now you don't suffer from it. So you don't suffer from too much of it. You don't suffer from not having it. Because it's like almost seen as like, it's like a bonus that you don't even care about. It's like, it's there, great. It's not there, I didn't lose anything. because that's exactly what I say in like the meditation. Like, you see, nothing needs to be added and nothing needs to be taken away. You're good. You're good. But that's good. Like those shifts though, Luke, that's good.
Yeah, it feels different. Felt super crazy in the middle there with my eyes closed. It's like I wasn't in person. I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't
So you're
know.
just this black, like infinite ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experiencing some ripples here and there. Some current. Right? But when the mind kind of comes back, what it says is like, I'm this little person floating in this black infinite ocean. But check your experience. No, you're not. There's absolutely no person there. Where you were was not like some other place. It's right here.
Yeah,
And there was and that the person is not there at all.
Yeah.
You'll notice is like when the person comes back online, then all of a sudden there's like these problems and desires and resisting and trying to escape everything. But what you'll notice is as the more you just basically rest as your true nature, then it's like there's less and less of a person that kind of comes back. That's a problem. The person stops becoming the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then that happiness, that love, that peace, that freedom, the fullness, the completeness, the wholeness, the restfulness, the relaxation, the stillness, the silence just starts creeping more and more into your experience. It starts permeating the experience of life. It's like the person's trying to get that. Let's say it's coming from the background. Just none of this really it's not accurate at all. But just for the analogy, it's like the person is trying to go outward to find which is always in the background. And the more, let's say, you're feeling that energy, the background starts coming into the foreground. And then the person, let's say, is kind of like, oh, I'm starting to get a taste of like what I'm actually out there looking for. So it's already here. So I'll stop looking out there. Rough analogy, but it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other questions, or you guys want to wrap it up?
It felt like in the middle of the meditation, the thoughts would come, but they were like just a wave. It
Yeah.
like actually felt like a wave.
Yeah, they are.
Like
So
it
what?
was
So it's
more
a
than that
movement.
analogy.
So that every thought is a movement, and you're the stillness that movement is coming out of and back into.
Yeah.
It's moving out of you, back into you.
So then I realized that in other meditations, the wave or the ripple was trying to feel the ocean, which isn't possible.
No.
But it felt like in this meditation, the thoughts were coming and it'd just be like the water would go up for a second and fall back down.
Mm-hmm. Because you're the ocean.
Yeah, in the ocean, there's like no boundary.
That's right.
So
But being mind identified with your thoughts, it's like you're believing that you're just a wave. The wave form, right? When we look at waves in the ocean, it's like, oh, there's a bunch of waves. And the waves are forms, right? It's what the ocean has formed itself into. So every wave is made of the ocean. And the waves are an activity of the ocean. So if you believe yourself to be the wave, then all the other waves look separate from you. All the waves are just other activities of life. This microphone, the lights, the plants, the trees, other people, the buildings, everything else seems to be separate from me. This little wave form. It's got a name and it's got a form. The name is wave, and the form, well, it looks like a wave. But then in the meditation, we're going deeper. What is this wave made of?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not finding anything that's separate called a wave. There's no separate entity called a wave. We look really close at that wave and it's like, there's nothing but the ocean here. So the wave is an illusion. It appears to be something separate, but when we look at it, it's not separate. It's literally an appearance in the ocean. So you as a person, Brody, is an appearance in you. And what you believed to be your entire life was Brody. And that's like saying, I believe to be a separate wave my entire life. But then when the ocean wakes up to itself, it realizes that it's not a separate wave. It's actually the entire ocean. That all the waves are actually in me, the ocean. They're made of me, the ocean. They're my activity. They're an appearance in me. That's why it feels like you can't go anywhere. Where's the ocean going to go? To the wave, it feels like it's moving somewhere. It's like, here I go. I'm picking up speed. Look at me. I'm doing self-development work. I'm getting bigger. I'm famous. I'm really big. I got celebrity status. Well, that's a tidal wave.
Gonna come crashing down.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. As you crash down, that's fine. To the separate wave, it seems like midlife crisis. It seems like a breakup with your girlfriend. It feels like you just lost your job. Feels like that, but it's like the wave crashing back down, but it's all right. Because it doesn't, the wave never died. It appears to be like, oh, that wave is no more, but to the ocean, it's like, it's always the ocean. It's always the ocean.
I gotta jump off, guys.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Right. Nice to meet you, bro.
You too, James. See ya.
Hey, James.
See you guys.
Did that make it any clearer there, Brody, or was it too much like philosophical analogy?
No, man, that was perfect. It all resonated, and I had something to say, but it just left me.
Good.
I wasn't paying attention to it that much.
It's all right. That's good. That's kind of how it happens. I'm not really here to give you an answer to every question, but I'll certainly remove the questions.
Yeah.
Well, it felt like the wave of who I think I am, or let's say the wave of Brody, was using all these other waves to support itself.
It is.
And it's
like
like this big wave, but it's like falling.
It is.
It really felt like it felt 100% like an ocean in that meditation. Like it didn't feel like water. I could like feel the energy like move up and then back down with each thought.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, I guess whenever I become it, I don't notice that. When I identify with the wave, I don't notice that it's just a wave.
Yeah. You're kind of just experiencing the polar opposite. Like in the meditation, you're just experiencing what you are.
Yeah, it was always the ocean.
Instead of like your manifestation. Because like Brody, the character is like it's a manifestation. just like a wave is something that the ocean manifests. Brody is what the Infinite One has created.
That's the biggest wave, is the sense of the separate self.
Yeah. It's the dream. That the Brody is the dream character. That's the same way as like when you look at the ocean, you say, there's the ocean, and you see it. And then when you're like jumping in the waves, or you're a surfer and you want to ride the waves, or you're seeing a wave crash in and then crash and wipe out your sandcastle, you're saying, oh, these waves, they keep coming. But there's actually no waves. The waves is just a concept. It's something that the mind is creating through separation. That looking at the ocean through the mind, you then experience two. You experience the ocean and you experience a wave. Duality. But without the mind, there's no wave. There's just the ocean. Just like this, I have my hand here. Here's what you actually are, the hand. And then here's what you believe to be, a fist. But the fist isn't real. The fist is appearing to be something what it's not. Sorry, the hand is appearing to be something what it's not. Because this fist is just a concept. It's something that your mind's creating to create another thing. That there's a hand and then there's a fist. Do you see how your mind's doing it? Your mind's seeing a hand and now it sees a fist. So you're seeing two things. A hand and then a fist. But really, there's not two things. Really, it's just, this is still a hand. You're just conceptualizing something else.
It's made of the same thing.
It's made of the same thing. Because if we say, well, what is this fist made of? Then we see that the fist is actually just made of the hand. And what you experience in meditation is this. Just like what Luke just experienced, is you're experiencing that. You're experiencing that this closed, contracted, it's a contraction. Making a fist is a contraction of the hand. And when the hand simply just relaxes and opens, well, now it can start realizing what it actually is. Which that's why you're saying in that meditation, you're like, I really felt like the ocean. I felt like there's just this energy that's kind of moving around. And I feel like I'm just this gigantic current of energy. And it's very blissful. So I usually call it, it's like an ocean of love or an ocean of bliss. But see that there's no person swimming in that ocean. In that meditation, it's not like you're jumping up and down, swimming in it. There's not two things there.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. There's just the ocean. And what you're experiencing is that movement is like, yeah, it's the activity. Any thoughts that do arise, it's just the activity. Any sounds that do arise, it's coming out of that silence. And it's seen very clearly like that. Because it's like it's like at that point you're not experiencing a mind. It's beyond the mind. Like non-duality, like it's beyond the mind. It's the mind that creates that duality. So you can say, like, when I take you there in meditation, even though that's not true, saying it like that, that's where you've like, you could say like, I've transcended the mind in that meditation. but there's no one that's transcending the mind.
It's like how you told me this morning to like forget non-duality, and I did. I actually felt more non-dual, I guess, throughout that day than before.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. Because all of that activity, remember like last night when you're chatting with me, is like all that activity. It's like I said, like you're like Sherlock Holmes, like looking for it. You're like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Going on this big like investigation, discovering, looking, like lifting up a bunch of stuff, tracking it down. That's just an activity. But what is it that's aware of that activity? You. You're watching this character try and grasp. Where's this enlightenment? Where's the non-duality? Where's this oneness? Where's God? You're seeing it like run in circles, opening up doors, looking in boxes. Where is it? Where is it? It's seeking. But what is aware of that seeking activity?
The ocean.
Yeah. If you give it a name, yeah.
All right, my dudes.
This is good? You liked it?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. This is great. This is great. That felt, yeah.
Cool.
That was really sick.
Awesome. Okay, well, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna log off here, and
Yeah.
I'll see you
Thanks,
on
man.
Thursday. If you join on Thursday, I'll see you guys.
Yeah,
Good
I
night,
hope to see
Luke.
you then.